Death and boobies,
death and boobies, death and boobies, death and boobies. And welcome to episode 2 of A Podcast Has No Name, but we've got many names. I'm Seth, first of his name, House Dunlap here. We've got Styles, Mike Styles, Christina Miranda. We've got Kat
Death
from
and
Bayou
boobies, death and boobies.
You did offer to
I'll sing the theme song.
the theme song, since we had to
Can't legally use it.
Right, we had to change our theme.
Yes.
So you'll be our theme song
Death
queen.
and boobies, death and boobies.
See, that
Everybody
works.
now.
Yeah. Death and boobies.
Death and
Boobies, death and boobies. And of course, TPot from
Yay.
B97. So let's get into it here.
Cheers.
We will recap and then, of course, go through all of our crazy predictions and theories and everything. But let's start. And let's start before we get to the theme. We saw the recap like they usually do. And it was interesting to me, looking back on it, watching it for the third time today, that the crossbow was in there, and Tyrion's scene where he killed his dad was in there.
Yeah.
And that comes up. Anything else from the pre-roll that you guys thought might have been important?
I don't know. You know what? I didn't even pay attention to the pre-roll from the previous seasons before. I never do that. I always skip.
Really?
Blind.
You're a skipper. Wow, that's...
Oh my god, that's the best part. I remember, remember that when Benjen Stark came up on the previously on Game of Thrones, we hadn't heard or seen of him.
For,
and eventually he
yeah.
came Cold Hands. That's for the stuff I like it, but I think we all know what's coming.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I kind of was just too excited to even process. What was
I
happening.
did notice the crossbow, and then they showed when Arya was blind real quick.
Yeah.
So
yes.
I don't know why they would do that so long
The
ago.
Arya blind, okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
See, I would always skip them because I've watched the episodes so many times
have
that
to
I'm like,
watch
I
from
don't need this
beginning to
recap.
end.
I know it by the back of my hand. Oh, oops. I've been doing it wrong.
Which kind of a power play, though.
That's
Your memory would have to be so sharp. I like it.
Well, when I saw the crossbow when Qyburn handed it to Bronn, I was like, oh yeah, that's the crossbow he killed his dad with.
Yeah.
And also like the one that Joffrey had when he killed
That
Ross.
prostitute. Yeah,
Yep.
Ross.
See, I've watched them so many times.
So
and I'm
you
like,
know.
Same crossbow as,
Yeah.
or kind of, what do they call it? The scorpion that goes.
Big one is Scorpion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the Lannister weapon of choice, I guess.
Yes, it is.
That and poison.
Yep. Opening credits. Cool. First time we've seen an
I like it.
entirely redone opening credits. We were watching it together, me and Christina and Mike. We were kind of freaking out. So the progression, it's through the wall first, and we see winter coming. After that, First Hearth makes an appearance, probably for the last time. Winterfell, they go also into the Great Hall, which is cool because that's going to play a role, as will the crypts.
Yeah. I thought that was neat.
King's Landing, they show the Scorpion. You said Scorpion into the Dragon Skull, the Iron Throne, and then a new sun or astrolabe or whatever they call it.
Right.
Which isn't really sun anymore. It's more of a darkened out. And a much darker theme in the opening, not really sun shining. So, thoughts on the opening credits?
I was really upset because they kept having the Baratheon sigil on top of King's Landing. I was like, no, it's Cersei Lannister.
Yeah.
It should be a lion. So whenever they finally had a lion. Oh, made my heart happy, guys.
It's a cute lion, too, for such a bitch.
Careful roar, guys.
Hate her so much.
Me too, thank you.
She's
His biggest
we were talking,
homebody over here.
She used to be sort of smart-ish.
And
Now she
empathetic.
is like, poof, what is she?
She's lost her mind a little bit,
Well,
for
she
sure.
lost her
Mad King.
kids, and she lost.
But
her
look, that's the thing. Remember, Tywin said that she always was more clever. Like she thought she was more clever than she actually was.
Yes.
So, like, she thinks that she's up here, but really she's like here.
Yeah.
Which is
She's
why,
in
not to get ahead of
trouble.
ourselves, it's so disappointing that she's had Tyrion's number, who Sansa said, I thought you were the most clever guy that I've ever met, and Cersei's had your number for 2 seasons now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dummy. So.
Dummy.
Well, she's always had the upper hand with him, though, because his weakness is his family. So she's always been able to kind of hurt him in different ways.
Because she doesn't even consider him family except for being the Valancourt, so.
Yeah.
Right.
I will say with Cersei, I was thinking this last night, but didn't want to interrupt our viewing, so I didn't say it when I was thinking it. that every time I hear Cersei speak and the dialogue they write for her sounds so much like Tywin. Like in my head last night, I was just putting Tywin's voice into like her dialogue, and it made so much sense.
Yeah.
Like she is her father's daughter,
Yeah,
although maybe
totally.
not as smart, maybe just as conniving, but not as smart.
Yeah.
That
As
is
Tywin was.
true.
Just like him. She
Yeah.
thinks she's as conniving and as smart as him, but
She's
Yeah.
not. She's losing it.
She's willing to do whatever, like as far as brutality is concerned, but there's just not as much strategy.
I'll
behind
say
what
she's
doing.
willing to do whatever with Euron Greyjoy.
Yes.
What? Yeah. Did she even make him take a shower?
That's what
Like he was just on that
he better
boat.
get in that
he earned that
bathtub.
queen fair and square,
Yes, he
guys.
did.
He was just on that boat all dirty.
And then she's like, the elephants, though. I need to be alone.
I really wanted those elephants.
Let's go scene by scene here and get your thoughts and biggest takeaways. The first scene is the opening scene in Winterfell, which was almost a straight copy from episode 1. Even
Yeah.
the music was similar, a little bit redone. I thought that was A+ stuff. That was 10 out of 10. I loved that scene. You saw the
marching.
boy running and then
Climbing up the
climbing
tree.
just like Bran
Homage to
did.
Bran, yeah. The whole
gonna
thing
cry.
was just fantastic. It's like almost like the next generation of
Yeah.
like.
Arya looking at the hound, like seeing the hound when they were all coming up, same thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Arya was smiling at the little boy because she was like, I knew what that was like.
Yes.
To be.
Yeah.
Like, I remember being so
And then when they were
excited
lining
coming.
up,
Yeah.
someone said, "Where's Arya?" Oh, she's running around playing, just
She's
like
lurking.
Yeah.
the first episode.
With
Yeah.
Jon Snow, or actually, I don't know. Would it be Daenerys or Jon Snow playing the role of Robert, and then the
Daenerys.
other one playing
I guess
Cersei as like the king and queen coming to?
Oh,
it's
yeah.
I guess it depends on what character you are, how you perceive them, and
Yeah,
who
so
you're.
confusing.
You know.
Yeah, Arya's point of view was fantastically done because you could see her very subtle, and Maisie Williams did such a good job at this, the actress that plays Arya. Subtle, different reactions to everybody passing by. You could see her kind of sad that maybe Jon didn't notice her, and then she sees the dragons and she's super happy.
Yeah.
She sees the hound and she's like, oh, I want to kill this guy.
Yeah, I was surprised. Not to get ahead, but like their reunion was pretty icy. Like where they spent 2 full seasons together and they were kind of tight. And like I know that
Did
she
she
left him for
really
dead,
hate
but
him?
she didn't stab him. That was Brienne of Tarth.
I think she
Yeah.
said, and she made a little comment about it, watch the cast and crew. She goes, that's both of their defense mechanisms,
Yeah.
just to be icy cold like that. So
Yeah.
I think they really like each other.
I think they really like each other.
I mean, but he was on her death list.
I don't.
But she
think
took
he
him
is.
off.
She took him
She
off.
didn't kill him, though.
Yeah.
She didn't
Once they
kill him. She
started,
left
like-
him for dead, and she
Yeah.
robbed him first,
Yeah.
and that made him proud. I think that's why he likes her.
I do too, and that's why I was surprised he was so. You know, it was for one thing for Arya too, but for
I was
Hound.
surprised that
Yeah.
he was more icy towards her,
exactly me
Right.
too.
but probably because she robbed him.
Yeah, like he said.
She
yes.
reminded him.
Yeah.
So
You left me
subtly
for dead.
reminded him,
and
no
I
doubt.
loved
He
it.
knows she's a badass.
Yeah.
You know, he knows that. Some of the other family members don't know that yet, really, about her. That
Even
she's-
Jon Snow, like, have you used this yet? She's like,
Yeah,
look at
she's-
my cold dead
that's
face.
why.
He's like, I'm a faceless murderer.
You know?
I'm like a psycho.
Few more takeaways from the opening scene with me. Some quotes. One was the first time we heard this many times throughout the episodes that Northerners don't much trust outsiders. It seems to me they're setting it up where Daenerys is going to do something to gain the trust of the North. I don't know what that is or when that's going to happen, perhaps even as soon as next episode. Also, Jon and Bran had their reunion, and great little dialogue where Jon says, "You're a man," and then Bran says, "Almost."
Yeah.
And then Sansa kind of side eyes, like, "Oh, you have no idea what the fuck you're dealing with."
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's so weird. The
Creepy. He's all
black
like this
sheep.
through the whole.
I know. He's like
whole
staring
show.
at everyone's soul and their secrets.
Yeah, even there was like a
knows
moment where he and
everything.
Tyrion are looking at each other from across, like,
Yeah,
you
he's
know,
like, "What'd I
the
do?"
yard. Like, I know that's what I was thinking.
He's
Tyrion
like,
was
Awkward
thinking.
moment number 1 because there's so many awkward moments.
I
in
know.
This entire
Every
He just
episode.
pops out.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
my.
stares. It's almost like every time he stares at somebody, he's like, I know what trash you jerk off to."
Yeah.
It's kind of true, though.
He's got
Imagine if you
receipts
knew
on
this.
everybody.
Imagine
He's
if
got
you knew
all
the secret. Right. Imagine if you knew the secrets for
Give him a
everybody.
rant to get back in the castle. Why is he sitting in the mud all day?
Did you notice Lyanna Mormont's mean mug of the Queen of
Oh, yeah.
Daenerys?
Talk
Ooh.
about how the North, you need to earn their trust. Her, you might need to do a serious favor.
She
Yeah.
turned on John pretty freaking fast too. Like I don't even know what you want anymore. And I was
Yeah.
like, wow.
She almost said bastard. She was like, you almost came back as a I mean,
She
Oh,
did.
is that what she was gonna
Yes.
say?
Or I don't know what you are. Yeah, she has to catch herself.
Well, she's gonna find out pretty
Daenerys
fucking
will do
fast.
something to win them over, and it's going to be huge.
I
Like,
bet
yes.
she's gonna, like, one of those dragons are gonna eat one of their kids, and she's gonna be like, listen, if you don't want this to happen anymore, then you need to like me.
That could be.
One of my favorite
That's what she's
lines.
gonna do.
Yeah, it could be. One of my favorite lines of the show, and certainly maybe the entire series, was when Daenerys and Sansa were meeting, and they were starting to have this little back and forth that we're just discussing here. And Bran, because I was thinking in that moment when I was watching the show, I'm thinking, we don't have time for this. And Bran says, we don't have time for this.
Very
The dead has
meta.
come, right?
Very meta.
Exactly. I loved it because we don't have time for that, do we?
The next
Like
scene,
it's.
one of them was going to say, "Oh, I like your shoes, girl."
Right?
Got him at the TJ Marmont.
Oh my god, I love your bracelet. Where did you get it?
Yeah.
That's the ugliest.
TJ Mormont.
Basically.
Fantastic. So
Sansa's gotta kind of show her, like, I run this place, though. Like,
She's
you
swinging
think
dick.
that you
Yeah.
got it with John? No. You have some work to do.
Well, 7
Yeah.
years ago, I mean, they came up the King's Road, and like all the Northerners bent the knee as soon as Robert and like the Lannister clan came, because that's what you do. And Sansa's like, we talked about it immediately after the
Yeah.
show. I was like, she needs to put some respect on Dany's
Yeah,
name because
does.
she's got like, I know you have the Knights of the Vale, but she's got you. Okay.
Those
Yeah.
hot
So-
Dothraki.
But she's also
Savages.
upset
Screamers,
because
right?
He's really never respected her. Like John has really never given Sansa the respect that she deserves.
It's true.
The
I
fact
kind of
that,
agree.
like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, she's been through a lot to get that castle back.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Like,
She
a
did
lot.
more than him.
Like, do you know what I went through to get
Well,
this back?
and I guess we'll get to it, and Tyrion acknowledges that later, which we're almost going to get to. The next scene was the Great Hall scene, and Ned Umber, the young Umber, sent back to the last hearth, which obviously portends a bad end to him. You mentioned Lyanna says Jon isn't a king. Says I'm not even sure what you are now.
You're
of course,
Whoa.
great one-liners from Lyanna, like usual. And then the awkward moment was Tyrion stepping out, and I'm initially thinking, what is he going to say that these people are going to respect? And he didn't say anything those people are going to respect. He
Right.
kind of
No.
bumbles his way into, my armies, our Lannister armies coming north, and then
they were
everybody
looking at
boos.
him like,
Okay.
He just keeps racking up L's. I'm so disappointed in.
A lot of L's for Tyrion.
yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, the thing is that none of them can win there. Like, I don't think that any of them understand the North. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, they don't get it. Like, none of you are going to win. And I don't even think John gets it. Really. Like,
He's clouded by his girlfriend.
yeah, he's clouded.
Yeah, right
he's
now.
so clouded.
And
He
he's
doesn't
always
understand
very
it.
very idealistic. Like,
Yeah.
too much.
And
Yeah.
like Bran said, like, we don't have time for this, and like they're
Bran.
infighting about like who is gonna sit on the Iron Throne and like what's the title for who. Like,
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Exactly, exactly.
Winter's like here, they're literally knocking down the door of the wall, and we're fighting about like who likes the title and whatever.
Sansa is, again, the practical one because she mentions, what are we going to do about the dragons? What do the dragons eat? And clapback of the millennium from
Yeah.
Daenerys, whatever they want.
Whatever they
Love
want.
that.
With the stare.
Me too.
They don't like the north, the dragons. They don't like the atmosphere. It's too cold. The goats don't taste as good.
The scrawny goats.
The goats and the sheep are
goats.
gross.
They're gross. What are they going to eat?
I don't know. They might have to go back to Dragonstone and eat and then come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the decaying flesh off the army of the dead.
Right?
Can
That's
they
what I
eat
was
that?
hoping, but I don't know if they can eat it.
You are what you eat. You gotta be
I was
careful.
going to ask the book readers, is that deadly, the meat, the flesh of
We
the...
haven't
Hasn't
even gotten
been
this
brushed.
far. Like,
No.
what we're in the show, we have surpassed the books.
Yep.
Yeah.
Next scene is Syrian and Syrian. Well, that's a great name for Tyrion and Sansa. Syrian.
There are a couple names.
Yeah.
I'm still shitting.
Are they still
Syrian.
married?
I mean, like, technically, right? No one gets a divorce there.
They're
They
still
never
married.
annulled it.
They never consummated it, right?
Oh, they never consummated.
If
Okay,
you
okay.
don't bone, you're divorced. I guess.
Well, you're not even married in the first
Yeah.
place. You gotta boink.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought there was good interaction between those two because Tyrion says people have underestimated you this whole time and they're all dead. And he's right. She's one of the most clever people now in the Seven Kingdoms. She has learned under Cersei. She has learned under Marjorie. She's learned under Littlefinger. Even Ramsay Bolton, for as sadistic as he was, very clever and conniving. She may be now the cleverest person
She is.
in the realm.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder, what tricks she might have up her sleeve.
No.
Well, I think that
All
she is
redheads have
able to
tricks.
strategize now. Like before, she was always so naive and so trusting of everybody that now I think that she can strategize and she understands the evil that's out there, you know?
Yeah, I wonder what her play would be, because we saw it with Daenerys, like, you know, she didn't want to bring over Dario Naharis because she has to, like, wed into an alliance. Like, what does Sansa's look like? Because she's already got the Knights of the Vale. She doesn't need Robert Arryn. Does she go for the Reach? Does she go for, Dorne is done. The Martells are done.
I have a theory.
Tyrells are done.
I told you.
I don't even...
What is it?
We can jump into theories.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, now, I'm going to say his name wrong, so I won't say his name. Okay, the little boy who was breastfed till he was like...
Yeah.
Robert
Arryn.
He is going to come, because that mother's dead, right? So he's not eating all that gross breast milk from this crazy old lady who fell through the moon pie window, right?
Yeah.
Pie
window.
So those soldiers there have brought him up now because the mom's gone. He's going to come back like a Dothraki, like
You know they're
college
first cousins.
He's so
Oh, you think he's going to be hot?
I think he's going to be hot
yeah, he's
and
totally gonna be
muscular.
hot.
Robert Arryn?
Yes.
Is it Robert Arryn or Robin
No,
Arryn?
no,
I thought it was Aaron
Robin.
Robin.
It's Robin Arryn.
No, it's
Robin
not
Arryn?
Aaron's a house name. House Aaron.
But
But-
she
That would be
says they're
fun.
cousins.
But they're first cousins.
Yeah,
Well, anyway-
Daenerys and Jon are niece and...
Yeah, but that's a
cousin.
Targaryen thing. That's not a Stark thing.
But
the
I
Starks don't
thought
do that.
he would come back and save the day, and Sansa will be like, "What? Who
No.
are you?"
I don't think the Starks play that.
I have
the
forgot
Starks
about
are-
Robin though, and
telling
he's
you.
got. I would think he makes an appearance
He's
sometime
done
here.
with
You would
that
think.
crazy woman's breast milk, and he's normal now, and normal,
I
and
think we've seen him since his
a
mom
warrior.
died.
Yeah.
we have.
Yeah, and he
Couple
was
of times.
kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe, I don't know.
I'm
There's just
telling
not
ya.
enough time. I thought this last episode was gonna be like an hour and a half, and then the credits start to roll, and I look over at Seth. I'm like, what? The
Yeah, we
fuck?
forgot
Like,
the
you were
first 2 or
manager.
55 minutes. Yeah, that was
Oh, the first
it's our
two.
mistake.
The first two
I
are
believe the
55
first 2
minutes?
are.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was hoping the next one would be the long
Me
one.
too.
No, Battle of Winterfell episode 3.
That's the big one.
1 hour 22 minutes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
It's gonna get real.
The last scene in Winterfell is actually in near the Weirwood Tree. Arya and Jon have their reunion. Super cool. They've always really liked each other. But Arya did take Sansa's side, and they talk about family. Arya says Sansa's defending the family, and Jon says, I am family, which... family and Jon's lineage,
Extended family.
big part of this episode, and Arya says never forget that, which I could see one of those opening scenes, the looking back where they show that scene and never forget who you are.
Blood runs thicker than water, man.
Yes, it does, right?
You talked about
They're
not
all
respecting
family.
Sansa. When he's talking to Arya, he's talking shit about her. She's like, she thinks she's so fucking clever. Or
I
whatever. And
know.
Arya's
Oh,
like,
Jon
she's
says,
pretty
yeah.
smart.
Yeah.
Dick. That's what she says.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the show, what I've noticed is this show basically shows that all the men have always underestimated all the women.
Yep.
Whether it is Tyrion underestimating Cersei or Jaime underestimating Cersei, everybody underestimating Daenerys, also Sansa,
Yes.
also Arya. Like, if you've got, and the Sand Snakes, if there's a woman on here, she's going to be underestimated.
Yep.
The only person that was overestimated was Marjorie Tyrell. Because
That poor bitch.
she
Oh,
thought
man.
she had gotten out of that.
Yeah.
Poor
Because
Marjorie.
she gave the little rose thing to her grandmother.
Yeah.
Someone was like, I got this.
Yeah.
She didn't.
She did not have it.
But
no.
she was
She
only
almost did.
beat
She
out
almost
by
did.
another woman, though. It's not like a
True.
dude got her. I'm
That's
telling
true.
you, it's the women. You know, they
I agree.
really.
I think this show is, if you look back on the arc, is a women's empowerment a little bit. At least part of the themes are women's empowerment.
Yeah.
Show which
Definitely last
Kick your
season,
ass.
too, because they were just focusing on Cersei and Sansa and Daenerys.
Yeah.
And now they're just kind of bringing it together.
Speaking of Cersei, we get a brief moment in King's Landing. Not a lot going on in King's Landing. We mentioned the Cersei Euron connection, but before we get there, Golden Company arrives, and Euron and Yara have an interesting moment, and it was the very brief moment I ever empathized at all for Euron in this whole. Like, he's just a villain that, in the
all
truest sense of a
alone.
villain. But he did say, like, oh, I'm the last Greyjoy alive. That's why I haven't killed you, which I kind of believe in. That's probably why he hadn't killed her yet, because she's the only other remaining Greyjoy. And none of his crew can talk because he cut their tongues out.
Exactly. That's why you
Yeah.
can't feel bad for him too much. Like, you're the only one to talk to. Well, you kind of made it that way. It's on you for doing that.
Crazy.
Yara does say you picked the losing side. And I want to get your take on this. Not that I think that Euron's going to switch sides, but did they leave open that possibility? Because he did say, well, I'll just take my ships and we'll sail to the other side.
Yeah.
Would he possibly, could that be coming where he sees Cersei's kind of crazy and
Unless
losing
Cersei
and he
is
sees
knocked up
Daenerys
and
is going to
says
win?
it's his.
He ain't saying. Have y'all
Even
not
for that
known
baby?
This dude will pack up and go so quick.
Even for that baby. If he thinks
He
it's...
don't give a
But then
damn.
it's
He
a
doesn't give a
great
shit
joy.
about it.
He will pack up and go. Like, he will be
But not
like,
without taking
bye.
what's his
He-
first, for sure. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he'll steal some gold and stuff.
I wonder if Cersei's first. I think we're gonna have like 2 halves to this season, right? Mm-hmm. This like basically the next battle of Winterfell, and like Cersei's kind of plot line up to that point is gonna be like dealing with Euron,
Yeah.
and he's definitely gonna betray her. It's just I don't know if he's going to. Like, if she's gonna have to do wildfire to get rid of him.
No,
Or-
something's gonna happen, and he gonna go steal the silver and then leave.
I don't think he's going to betray her until after she's overthrown, though, because he's all about wanting to get with the queen.
Why
wanting
hasn't
to
her
put
hair
things in her
grown out,
belly.
though? That's annoying.
I think she keeps it cut
Yeah.
short. They said some where she feels like, it's her new self.
Oh.
Well, good for her.
Good for her. So much in this scene to go over in King's Landing. We'll stay right there with with Cersei and Euron. I thought, in my view, looking back on the scene and again watching it 3 times now, that Cersei the entire time, very Cersei of her, playing Euron to get him to have sex with her so that the baby she can pass off as his and not her incestuous
Ain't no
lover's kid.
Ain't no baby.
That's a food
I think-
baby.
Oh, wait,
Weird.
wine baby, guys. We discussed this. Wine baby.
No, ain't no baby. I'm telling you, ain't no
there's a
baby.
baby.
Because you know what I was looking at? I watched before last night's episode. I watched season 7, the last episode of season 7. Now, we all know how clever Cersei is, right? She doesn't make that many mistakes. Like, she doesn't make that many big mistakes. But like, after they had the meeting and Tyrion comes to sit down with her and have that talk, she's sitting there and she holds her belly. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, really? Were you just doing that for show? Because if she, was really pregnant, like, would she even let him know? Would she put her hand out? Like,
She's really
I mean,
pregnant.
she's showing her
I
hand.
agree with
I think the truths maybe that they agreed upon was maybe Tyrion saying, you know what, since Daenerys can't have children,
Your
maybe
baby.
your baby can sit on the Iron Throne after Daenerys.
Yeah.
Type deal.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, she was lying, and I feel like it was all a part of her plan.
But then
because
what-
when they left, she was like, there wasn't a truce. She was lying the whole time. She
Right.
wasn't sending her men or anything. She just basically held her belly, and he was like, "You're pregnant," and she's like, "Oh."
But then we don't know what they said.
Well, and in the seasons before that, I think it was season 6, the very first episode, they had where little Cersei went to go see that witch, and the witch told her 3 will be their crowns, 3 will be their shrouds. So she's only going to have 3 children.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I don't know. Either she thinks she's pregnant and she's not, but like for some, I like your idea, but the reason I think that she at least thinks that she's pregnant is because one, why would he like the face like her facial expression when he says I'm gonna put a little prince in you is like, oh shit, there's already one in there.
Yeah.
Well, she turns and she actually tears up. That's the one time when she turns away from Euron when she's finally leaving after the rendezvous in her chambers. She does turn away and you can see her tear up and kind of look down, briefly kind of look down. Only she
Yeah.
grabs her chest, but briefly look
I
down.
think she's really
I mean, she
pregnant.
could have had a miscarriage, and then everything could have fallen out, so
Yeah.
she can't have a new baby.
She is old.
Oh.
Because
Yeah.
that happens.
She's not of childbearing.
Everything
we know
falls
she's
out.
not having another baby, and she
The-
is drinking heavily on that baby.
That's what I'm
that baby
saying.
belly. So maybe she's not.
The wine baby.
The other part of this, Cersei's line about the elephants. Come on. I was expecting elephants. That's disappointing. There was no elephants.
So
Yeah.
the book readers.
Yes.
What, that was kind of meta
We
again,
are
right?
so sorry,
Yes.
my lady.
A little meta, because
They don't
everybody's going to be
travel
disappointed.
well.
Only
I just
Cersei's
felt like
disappointed
you
with
want to ride on something big because Daenerys came in with a dragon, and now
Yes.
you want Elephants.
Now you want Dumbo.
Other parts of this?
so
Compensating for
bad,
sure.
That's why she
Yes.
had sex with Euron.
I want. I'll take an episode with no dragons if I can get the direwolf pack back, though.
They're coming,
coming
right?
back.
They're coming.
Gross.
They're
John's
coming.
John's direwolf ghost, I believe, is going to
And
make a
a
return
With a pack.
With a
very
pack.
soon.
He's supposed to be at Winterfell, though. There shouldn't even be a return. I'm so
I
bad,
know.
guys.
I know.
Yeah, it's fine.
I know.
We're just moving past it.
In King's Landing, two other very important scenes: Bronn and Qyburn in the brothel. Like Bronn can't even find time to have his way,
Poor Braun.
and then come on in here, Todd. No, Todd. We'll give a little behind the scenes. Todd Modestus is
Death and
producing. That's okay.
booze,
What's up,
death
Todd?
and
Hey, Todd.
booze.
You at all.
Oh,
yikes.
no.
Being recorded, you're very loud. You're very loud as always.
Yeah.
Well, how about we have Kat and Christina share a mic? Is that cool? You guys,
Work, but
yeah.
Why is that mic dead?
Oh no!
We
so
don't
we
know.
do all this and then they can't hear.
Well, you'll be able to pick her up. I'll post edit it.
Could you hear me?
behind-
Okay.
yes.
A little behind the scenes here. Yeah,
So
just
there's something wrong with
scooch
that
together.
mic. Here.
Okay.
There we go.
There we go.
I'll
Death
turn
and
you. We'll post edit it
boobies,
out.
death and boobies.
That's the boobies.
Thank you, Todd.
Thanks,
for
Todd.
saving us.
Thanks, Todd.
Yeah, he needs a round of
Yeah.
applause for that. Saving the.
I learned more in these 4 or 5 minutes than I knew of the whole thing because I've never watched this.
All right.
Our first review.
Yeah.
So Bronn getting the crossbow that Tyrion killed his father with. Is this a red herring? Is Bronn's obviously going to get a chance to use it sometime? I would
He's
think.
going to try to kill Jamie, and Jamie's going to kill him.
If that's his season 8 plotline, they just should have killed him in the battle of the when he was shooting at the dragons on the
Yeah.
scorpion thing.
Yeah.
They should have just killed him.
He's
there.
a little bit of a plot device. He was a plot device to save Jamie, and now is he a plot device to kill Jamie?
He's not gonna kill Jaime.
Yeah, but Bronn isn't he like a sellsword?
Yes,
So-
that's how Tyrion met him.
Yeah, so that's what he does, and I feel like anybody who goes down there, does he have to go to the north?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's gonna go to the north, and then he's gonna see the army of the dead, and then he's gonna be like, oh.
What she said
What am I
after
doing?
Qyburn said after they're done dealing with the dead. So I would assume this is after the big
Oh.
battle, which we probably won't see Bronn again until episode 4 or 5.
Which that's the
Right.
thing. Like after they're all done
Okay.
fighting, I don't think that he's gonna be able to witness that and then do that.
It would be the ultimate betrayal. And Jamie
saying
did
he-
betray Bronn when he refused him his castle and his wife. Bronn was not happy about it.
Yeah, well.
Finally, Theon rescues Yara. Throwaway scene. I thought that was, if there's something that was poorly done in this, there's a couple of
Yeah.
things. We'll get to the other one.
Really?
That was, I mean, you're telling me they had no problem at all with the entire Iron Fleet there, rushing in, no casualties, get her, get out.
Yeah.
Counterpoint. When Yara and Ilaria we were kind of canoodling on the boat as well. It's kind of like a
Canoodling.
It's
Great
like
word.
a Greyjoy rite of passage to be caught with literally with your pants down.
Yeah.
When you're trying to bang, and then you have someone come and get you
Yeah.
when you're not paying attention. So we've seen it before with them. It's just kind of runs in the family.
Yara did say Daenerys will need somewhere to retreat when she loses. I think it's when or if. I want to say she said when.
She said
Yeah.
if.
Did she say if?
If they can't hold the
If
north.
they can't hold the north.
That's right. They got to retreat to an island because they can't swim. Right?
That
Are
was
they
the-
setting that up,
the
or is that
zombies?
just, again, is that another red herring?
No, I think that's. I mean, this is the only time that you said anything when we were watching it out loud. You're like, everyone was like, oh, because it made a lot of sense. Because I was wondering why they kept her alive and why this storyline went on for so long.
I did a very good job last night of keeping quiet because there were so many things I
Why
wanted to
can't
say.
they swim?
I know.
I had to
Which would have
tell
been
my
a bad-
husband to
Because
hush
they
up.
don't.
Yes,
but
that would have been a bad.
They swim in The
viewing
Walking Dead.
guest.
They're gonna
Yeah.
have to go somewhere. I mean,
Yeah, they're
all
gonna-
of that stuff is gonna be destroyed.
I believe they're going to lose this battle.
Yeah, and it's
in
really
Winterfell.
nice for them to have a plan B because Daenerys and Tyrion weren't having any plan Bs last season, and we all saw how that turned out.
So you
for
think
them.
they're gonna lose the battle against the army of the dead?
Yes.
I believe they're going to lose the first battle, and this is just going back to our predictions and previews episode. And this is obviously just one person's theory on this. I believe when all the talk from the producers and Weiss and Benioff have said there's this big battle and it's the most expensive battle we've done, And in separate paragraphs, we say, well, there's going to be this battle in Winterfell. I think that they've set it up where everybody's going to expect the battle in Winterfell to be that big battle that cost $65 million, took 69 to film. I think there is a battle in Winterfell. I think they lose it, and then everybody has to gather in the South again, and that's the final stand. And I think it's a little bit...
The battle, not the war.
Correct.
Like they lose the battle.
The bigger battle isn't in Winterfell. The bigger battle's coming after they lose Winterfell.
In King's Landing?
Somewhere, King's Landing or outside of it. Any Lord of the Rings, you watch Lord of the Rings, they had the battle outside of Minas Tirith, the plains of Pelennor, Battle of Pelennor.
It could be like in between the North and King's Landing.
So you think that the Night King is going to win?
The initial battle, yeah.
The initial battle.
In Winterfell.
And they retreat back to the south somehow.
And there's some...
And the Iron Islands.
And I think it does go back to what this entire episode, I think I've said 3 or 4 times, where Daenerys needs to do something to prove her value and her loyalty to the North. In losing that battle, I don't know if it's another dragon, maybe it's her, or I don't know what, but and then Jon takes over because he's now a Targaryen, where they'll prove that the Targaryens are allies to the Starks.
Yeah. That's going to happen.
Yeah, I kind of agree too. Okay, so let's go back to Winterfell now.
Okay, you just blew my mind with that, though.
I like it. There you go. Karstarks arrive back there, and Sir Davos points out the sigil, and then once again talks about Northerners being stubborn as goats. Yeah. You want their loyalty, you have to earn it, and also suggests splitting the 7 kingdoms, which is something I think we've all theorized about this. Yeah. That with the end of the show is there'll be no Iron Throne, it'll be some other setup, and Sir Davos says that.
Yeah. The proposal is a proposal. That's what he said.
The proposal is a proposal.
Has her little kingdom, so really it's just the 6 kingdoms.
Well, they had that before, right? Like they had.
It was kind of that way.
Yeah.
Already.
Until the Targaryens came over?
Well, right, because Aegon made the 7 kingdoms one.
And then you had wards of the North and the South and the...
But...
I don't know.
What was that I was watching where they were saying that the Greyjoys, like everybody wanted to be their own king. Yeah. And wasn't it during Robert's Rebellion when all of that came together again?
Yes.
Because didn't Daddy Greyjoy, didn't he say he was king of the Iron Islands?
Yeah,
and then they were
Greyjoy.
like, and then they was like, nope, no, you're not. It's Robert. Like I think that they tried that multiple times,
right?
And it just kept getting.
And that was the last time that the Ned and Robert saw each other. I think it was called the War of the Ninepenny Kings.
No, that's before all.
That was
of
way
this. It was
before.
Just the Greyjoy Rebellion.
Yeah, that's right, the Greyjoy Rebellion. And that's the last time they saw each other. And before that, it was.
Didn't Walder Frey try and do it too? Like, didn't he try and say?
Did he rebel, Walder Frey?
I think that there was something where during the rebellion, one of them kind of broke off and was like, "Oh, y'all go fight, and then I'll just be like king over here." I swear that
sounds like something Walder Frey.
That does
because
what Frey did say neutral. In that,
pretty
right?
much.
So that's why I'm thinking like they've tried this over and over, except they keep getting dudes who are like, "Nope, we're gonna take over everything and bang all the whores."
Yeah.
Davos. After Davos gets done with his speech, Varys on one of the balconies looks down at Jon and Dany, and I didn't pick this up the first time, but very ominously has a line that says, "Nothing ever lasts," and then it zooms into Jon and Dany, which again towards the end of the episode, probably find out why. Also, funny line. One of the Dothraki commanders says the dragons have eaten 18 goats and 11 sheep, and then Daenerys says they're starving. Or they're not eating. 18 goats and 11 sheep.
That's
isn't
what
enough?
she said. Oh, they're not eating. They don't
They're
like
not
the North.
eating. We've got. I think she was just like, okay, I want that dick. Oh my God, the dragons aren't eating. We've got to go take them on a ride. Make them hungry.
So let's get to the dragon ride. I loved this episode, but if I'm being true and not just a fanboy, if I'm being true to my feelings, and I've defended the show last season and against, we were doing the podcast against a lot of criticism
from me.
I didn't like the dragon ride. I thought it was fan servicey. I didn't like it. It didn't make a lot of sense to me. It was beautiful. It was beautiful, but I didn't like it.
They didn't have to do it the first episode, right?
I was
don't
upset.
know.
I felt like it should have been a bigger deal that he got on that dragon.
Thrown in there.
Well, like they said, only a Targaryen can ride a dragon. And I feel like if he didn't do it this first episode, whenever he were to ride a dragon, and the previous probably to attack the whites, it would have just made no sense for him to be a pro at it.
Oh, that's true.
Right off the bat.
Oh, yeah. So it's like training wheels?
So who liked the dragon ride?
a little too CGI. But I mean,
Yeah.
it was cute, very cute.
How to Train Your Dragon.
I mean, I just like the dragons being nasty and watching them bang.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up.
Ooh.
Great
It's
scene.
totally like my
Their
cat.
dragon face. And my dog.
Lots of mean mugs in this episode. Drogon's probably...
That ain't
The
my
best.
dad.
I don't know if it was a mean mug, though. It was kind of like, let's get it on.
I think he was like,
Oh, you thought Duran was
Yeah.
feeling it.
Oh, he was
thinking,
definitely feeling
"Dad,
it.
I'm not calling him daddy.
Yeah.
We see we go back to Winterfell. We see Gendry and the other blacksmiths forging the dragon glass, and that's where we get the Arya Hound reunion.
Yeah.
And the Hound says, "You left me to die," and then Arya says, "First I robbed you."
Yes.
Great line.
And that made him proud.
I know.
And Arya
proud of
Gendry,
her.
who is Team Arya Gendry? Because that seems like it's a thing now.
Me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She had put on her flirting faceless face.
Right?
She even did that back turn, like, oh, hey,
She-
boy.
I'm the only rich girl you know.
Yeah.
Call me.
I think that
She
would be a
said-
fabulous couple if that happened.
They might need to. I mean,
That would be awesome.
if they do end up like reproducing the Seven Kingdoms, send Arya down to the Stormlands and like recreate these Baratheons.
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We finally
Like,
get to...
They always wanted Rob and Ned. They wanted to have little babies together.
Oh.
They're going to join
Oh
houses.
my God, Robert said that. I have
Yeah.
a son, you have a daughter. They'll
Yeah.
marry, they'll join our houses.
Yes.
Coming to life.
we finally get to one of the more incredibly acted scenes, I think, in the series, and that is Sam and Dany. They first meet with Jorah in tow. John Bradley, who plays Sam, I watched that on repeat. I kept spinning it back and
I love
watching
him
it
so
again and
much.
again. Incredible job.
He was going for his
Team
Emmy.
Samwell.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
He may
What?
win an Emmy just on
Another
that.
Because
awkward
I'm sitting
moment.
there like, why is he mad? His daddy treated him like crap.
Because
You ever
his,
had like
his,
any like
his past
relationships
is gone.
that are like kind of fucked up and like I just feel sad if someone
but he
died
was just
over
like,
it.
ooh.
So
Well,
here
to be
is-
fair, when his dad died, like, he was like, oh, fuck,
Yes.
okay. And then, but my brother, I can go see my brother.
cat,
and then she was
my
like,
dog.
If you look, if you go watch it again,
My
if you look
goldfish.
at the reactions of John Bradley of Sam when his dad, a little bit sad, but he's willing. He kind of says, "Okay, well, I'll just go back." When she says, "I executed your brother," then he loses it, and Luzin's like, "I gotta go, I gotta go."
So, yeah, maybe it was about the brother. All
And
right.
Jorah's disappointment also on that it was haunting. Like, oh boy, you did it, Danny. You did it. 'Cause
Jorah bugs me.
He wasn't there when Daenerys burnt the Tarleys, right? Because he was
No.
off in the.
He
No,
was,
No, he was off on the.
he was
getting
off
his
getting
skin
cured.
peeled off.
Yeah, he was getting his skin peeled
You
off.
know what? Jorah bugs me. There, I said it.
Really?
yeah,
Am
I think
gonna
he's
get
weird.
Hated for that.
Do you think he's a creeper or?
Yeah, like
What
how
is his
Donald Trump looks at
purpose?
Ivanka.
He definitely loves her. But
Well-
his thing is, though, he always thinks that he knows what's best for her. Again, another dude with a dick who thinks that he
Patriarchy.
knows what's
Right.
best. Okay? I'm tired of these dudes
That's
with their
why.
dicks.
Hey,
That's what it
with
is.
dicks or without dicks, like they think they know.
Dead dick,
Sure.
alive dick, white
Yeah.
dick, we don't care. Get it out of my face.
So Sam rushes out, and then he meets Bran, who has just been waiting in
Creepy
the courtyard.
McGee.
Hey,
Creepy
old
McGee.
friend, waiting for you.
He's like the
So
family
old-
dog. He just sits in the yard in the snow.
And just looks.
I thought the same thing. I watched it twice, and I thought
Yeah.
the old friend is Sam. They obviously have some relationship.
Nope,
that-
I knew it was Jamie all
It was
along.
Jamie. That's
All
who he's
along.
waiting for because
Yeah.
he's in the exact same spot that he was when Jamie
Yep.
shows up.
Yeah, but is he going to be mad at Jamie?
Nope.
Because Jamie is the whole reason he's got the green sight.
Yeah,
because
Jamie-
when
There's
He's
no
not
more
gonna be
brand
mad.
left anyway.
Yeah, Jamie did that to some other like kid that's not even alive anymore. The three-eyed raven, like I'm sure he's thankful.
Jamie's going to be
Yeah.
like, Jamie, yeah, I forgive you. Anyways, this is what we got to do.
yeah,
There's
and
no
he's-
To
time
win
for
this
that.
war. There's
Well,
no
there's
time
no
for
time
that.
for this. This is what we have time for. Let me
Yes.
tell you.
Creepy
for
McGee.
this. That is
Creepy
great.
AF.
I'm worried that
Bran.
this next episode's gonna be like the trial of Jamie Lannister, though. That's what the
Well,
like
it is.
coming up
And
looked
then
like.
Bran's going to wheel in and be like, we have no time for this.
Please. He's the plot device that just keeps things moving on. We got no time for this. So John's waiting in the crypt. Sam leaves, and they decide it's best for Sam to go tell John. Another incredible scene. Like again, Emmy.
That was really good.
Like, John Bradley may win an Emmy
That
for
was
this
really
episode.
good.
Yeah.
It's very good. Ned ominously in the background, the statue of Ned Stark in the background through all of that. And John says, I wasn't a king earlier when they're talking about burning his father and his brother. And then Sam says, You always have been a king," and explains to him his lineage. And Jon can't quite believe it, that the man that they have said probably every season multiple times, the most honorable man in the Seven Kingdoms, might have been dumb and stubborn, most honorable man. He says, "This man that I thought was the most honorable man I've ever met has been lying to me the whole time."
Yes.
Devastated his worldview.
I see, that pissed
It's
me
like
off.
when you took your DNA kit
Yeah, that's true.
and you're Irish
And
now.
I found out I'm Irish.
It-
It changed my
You're
whole
Irish.
It
life.
does.
Wow.
It destroys
How about that?
families.
It's not so bad being Irish. Come on. We're all,
No,
we're all
that
right.
actually made me mad when he said that, because it's almost like those rom-coms where there's like this crazy mix-up and it's like, oh, what? And then the character gets angry. And it's like, if Ned lied to you, you know your dad. You know that it was for a
Right.
reason. So why not try and find out the reason before
Yeah.
screaming out, "I've been lied to"?
And Sam made it perfectly clear, like right after he said that, like like Robert Baratheon would have killed you. He did this to
Right.
protect you, and he
Yes.
didn't really change his position either. And I wonder if that's just to set up like an internal struggle for him. Like, am I a Stark? Am I a Targaryen? Can I be both?
We don't have time for
I
this.
loved
I love
what
it.
Sam said,
This is
though.
the new bend the knee, so we don't have time for
When
this.
Samuel said, "You gave up the crown to help your people," would she?
Yes.
That
Yeah.
was huge.
Yeah,
Well, I
because would
mean-
she? Because this
I
is
think
something
eventually
she's been,
she would.
Yeah.
I do. I think she will.
Yeah, she's gonna give up her life for
I
her
think so.
people.
Yeah, she
Is
does
that-
love him.
Could that possibly be the
But does
the thing she does to earn the Northerners' trust? Is bend the knee to him?
Ah.
Good call. Good
That's a
call.
good point, because this has been
That's
something
it.
that she has wanted. Like, if you remember back in the first season, she thought this was her brother's crown.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until like later that she actually started believing that he wasn't a dragon. Remember when she
Yep.
started like playing with the fire and the hot water and all the shit, and she's like, wait a minute, I might be the dragon and he's not a dragon. So this has been something she's wanted since the first season, that crown.
Does this conveniently move everybody, the major players, to where they want to get? Sansa would then be, because Bran's not a ruler, she would be queen in the north. Jon would be queen on the throne if Daenerys is there. And conveniently, everybody would kind of be happy, finally.
Ain't
That's
nobody
not the
be
end of
happy.
the story.
That's
No,
not
not
going to
the end of the
happen.
story. That's true.
Nobody
have
be
not
I
happy.
like
paying
that
attention.
one, though, Seth.
That's a good one. Think of
Finally,
we're gonna
we
be
get,
happy.
and I thought that was going to be the end when we saw Jaime and Bran, but no, it's not the end. Well, that was the end, but before that
Right.
was, because I knew that was coming, I thought that would be the last scene. Before that, we get the last hearth. Out to the last hearth, and if you're confused about where that actually was, because I was in the first watch through, that's the Umber house, with
Poor
the
Umber.
Umber that left to get his people there that Sansa directed away. Devastated, we see blood, we don't see any bodies, and then Dolorous Edd and the Night's Watch show up to meet Beric and Tormund, and they find,
Blue eyes.
they find little Ned Umber
Yeah.
stuck to the wall with decapitated limbs and body parts strewn around him in a pattern that we have seen. Now, I'm going to give you my theory on this, and then you guys can call me crazy like you usually do.
Sure.
I thought about this a lot, and then I randomly saw the Targaryen sigil in a post that I was reading, and I had never thought about this before. We have seen these spiral symbols when the Children of the Forest turned the Night's King.
Right.
We saw the symbols in the caves, the same spiral symbol. We saw the symbol when, I think it was season 2, when the wildlings find dead horses decapitated, and we see the same symbol. It is incredibly similar to the Targaryen sigil that has the spirals, the 3 spirals on one side, the spirals on the other side. Now, either that is a massive coincidence, which it could be in a show with a lot of symbols, or it means something more. And I'm leaning towards it might mean something more, whether that he is a Targaryen, the Night's King a long time ago. I don't know, but it seems to be and would be a massive coincidence if they designed the Targaryen logo to look so similar to that spiral symbol with something
like
in the
it.
middle.
Well, there's
I'm
2
calling
symbols.
crazy.
Call it crazy. All right.
Yeah.
I need that old sounder we can't
Well,
use
there's 2
anymore.
symbols.
Oh,
There's that symbol, and then there's that like circle kind of thing with the line through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It almost looks so. What do the symbols mean? That's what I want to know. Like, why did the Children of the Forest draw these in the cave? Why do they
They're
keep?
creepy, too.
Why do they keep putting these symbols there? What's the significance of it?
yes.
I hope that there
I wanna know, too.
is. I'm really hoping that there is.
There has to be. There
There's just
has
not
to
a lot
be.
of time left. Maybe it's just like a motif, and it's like the yin to the yang. Ice,
Maybe.
and, like
Is that like
ice
is
and fire.
the way to defeat the Ice King in the symbol?
Oh, maybe.
I don't think he would be leaving that around, though, if there was a secret way to defeat him. Like, oh, yeah, well...
That'd be cocky as shit.
Yes. Come find out. Come see me, bro.
Yeah.
They populate just by killing people and then bring them back
Yeah.
to life. Oh, they don't have sex.
No. Or they, get little babies and decide to touch them with their
What
crazy
happens with
finger.
those babies? That's what I wonder.
They
Okay,
turn them
so
into
are
White
they
Walkers.
like
Yeah.
crawling
Those are the
undead?
big chiefs. No. Those are the ones that control all the dead people.
The actual
The
White
babies?
Walkers.
Yeah, the actual White Walkers, the babies. Yeah.
Oh.
Those are like the big guys.
Oh.
How do they
so they
grow
grow?
so fast?
Oh, I have no idea.
Well, they
on
probably
that one,
have,
girl.
and I don't forget what they call the Superman-looking, place way up in the north. That's probably their home where they groom the babies for years. And if they've been doing this for years, I mean, they have an army of White Walkers.
Thousands of years.
Yes, thousands of years. So we're calling crazy on crazy
I
on
mean,
out there.
they're little bit.
Ice,
There's
dude.
something
Targaryens
there.
are fire. They're two totally different things. I don't know.
Yes.
That
I
dude
mean-
had kind of brown hair.
Huh?
That dude who they turned,
We did. You're right.
Oh, okay, yeah.
he had
Yeah.
brown
Maybe
hair.
it's a Stark, and we're going to
And-
find that out probably during the prequel.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't even think
Okay,
about
let's
the
get
prequel.
to that's kind of the recap.
My God, there's no prequel.
Let's banty about any theories for this next episode. Usually with the trailers, and if you don't want to know what might be coming in the next episode, you might want to stop here because we're going to talk about some of the stuff that happened in the trailer if you're somebody who doesn't like to watch the trailers. But they show the battle, siege, people on the what is it, the catamounts or
Front
whatever,
line,
not catamounts, but whatever you call them, the up top of
Thing-
Winterfell.
The porch.
Catwalk.
Catwalk is the wrong. Yeah, I was trying to think of the right word, but it's not.
Catamaran.
Usually, everything that they show in those trailers happens very early in the next episode. It's almost like clockwork. They never show anything that happens like 15 minutes plus in. So, could this surprisingly be the Battle of Winterfell, the start of it? Next episode, they do the trial,
Yeah.
obviously, and then right there
It's got
somebody
to. There's
shows up.
only 6 episodes.
No, I don't think so. I
don't
think they're going to
think?
find out that they're coming, so they're going to have to prepare. So, because like we heard, they said, well, they're going to be here right before dawn next time. So I think they're going to try to hurry up and get the trial of Jaime Lannister done, and then start.
You think
hopefully
there's a
preparing.
trial?
There's no time for that.
There's no time for that.
There's
just
no
no
In the
time
book,
for
there's
that.
really no trial.
And we
It's
already
gonna-
see
he's
him
gonna
in,
sit
like,
there,
the-
kind of like Littlefinger.
The preview for the series, like the last season, we see him fighting in the Battle of Winterfell. So, if there is a trial, there's no time for it. But it looks like he's getting grilled by Daenerys, and I couldn't tell if Sansa was standing up for him or not.
I almost think Daenerys is going to end up standing up for him.
She's
And
gonna
Bran.
have to, and like
Yeah.
they sort of tease you to make you think, because she's like, didn't she say something about you're the man who killed my father or whatever? Okay, well they all knew he was crazy. She even knew that he was crazy,
Yeah.
so she's not gonna hold.
Do you
that
think they'll
against him.
bone Jamie and Danny?
Oh, that'd be fun.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
I'd pay to
Yeah.
see that.
I would
he
be
was
so
like-
mad. That is Brienne of Tarth only. Okay,
that's
no.
I want Brienne to be with the
Brienne-
redhead.
If there is a trial, Brienne's
Die.
definitely got to come.
No,
Yeah.
he's gonna die in Brienne's arms.
Oh boy.
I think
like that
Brienne's going to
prediction.
die in his arms.
Nah.
Yeah.
No, he's gonna die in Brienne's arms.
So then, if,
It's gonna
if
be
Jamie
Cersei's
dies,
fault.
Brienne could be with the redhead.
Yeah,
The ginger boy.
Tormund, let's go.
Yeah.
Speaking
Or
of
either
Tormund,
those
I am
guys.
interested. What's the arc for those that now, the Night's Watch and the Wildlings who are in Eastwatch and everybody who survived Eastwatch? What is their arc? Are they coming to Winterfell? Are they going to attack from the back? Like I don't really understand what
Yes.
their arc is.
Tormund needs to attack me from the back.
Yeah, right.
It's not dying, baby. Let's go.
My spicy
Crash on him.
ginger.
I don't know.
Oh
what
my
it is.
God! Now
I
that
love
you're
'em.
Irish, you want some more Scottish in here.
That's You're
Some more
Irish
wild,
now.
like-
I know.
So on our podcast has no name Twitter at a podcast has, we got some questions and multiple people wanted to know death pool for this episode. So I'll go around the table. Who, if anybody, of the major players or secondary players, I suppose, do you think eats it in this episode? I guess I will start. And
Wait, episode 2?
Episode 2.
Okay.
I'm going to say nobody again. I'm going to say none of the major or second players yet. And I think I'm with you. Episode 3, we're going to see chaos. But I will say your death pool, just hedge it. I don't think anybody's dying yet.
Wow. Well, in the preview, you definitely see Arya taking someone's face. So that could be somebody. I don't know. I'm gonna put the over under at 1.5.
Death pool 1.5.
Yeah,
Anybody
so-
in particular?
Tormund and
No!
Beric Dondarrion.
What's wrong with you?
I mean, the Night King's like loitering around
Ginger's
there,
got
like
babies.
just poking
Yeah.
people in the torso, and then like lighting shit on fire. Oh wait, that was Beric. Someone's got to eat it, and it's not going to be Jaime. I don't know.
It's not going to be the Hound because
Not yet.
he has to have that reunion. It's not going to be Jaime. He's got to have some kind of reunion. It's not
Can't
going to
be
be
Tormund.
What about
Maybe
Tyrion? Has
Qyburn.
Tyrion outlived his usefulness because now
No,
he
it's not
is
gonna
no
be
longer
Tyrion.
the cleverest
What about
man in the
Varys?
Seven
What's his
Kingdoms?
point?
I thought yesterday that Tyrion was going to, like, Jaime's going to be put into a cell, and then kind of history repeating itself. Tyrion's going to let his older brother off the hook and release him because, you know, he's
Yeah.
having this whole internal struggle with, like, the Lannisters.
Yeah.
And then he's going to be put to death.
Stina, death pool.
I'm not going to say any major players, but I'm going to say 5, just because. Okay, listen, this is
Oh my
my
God, you're
reason.
killing
though.
everyone.
You have a prince in your belly.
Yes, she is our mother of
Yeah.
dragons. Yes.
She is.
And I think it's going to be the Night's Watch. So they're going to go with Tormund and the Beric Dondarrion to go, and there's something's going to happen with the Night's Watch.
Dolorous.
Thank you. I could not think of his name. So
I
I
knew
was
who
like,
you were thinking
oh,
of.
yeah, the whatever his name is.
He has blue eyes.
Exactly.
Eyes.
I think that they're going to just brushly escape the White Walker's torment. He's going to be like, listen, I know they're coming because he just ate all your King's Watch friends.
Oh, yeah.
Night's Watch.
Oh, so he's the one. They're the ones who's going to
So-
tell.
I like
One
that.
of
So
them are-
you
Yeah.
think the
I like it. I like it.
the night
Night King.
is going to eat some of the Night's Watch, but not Ginger.
Not Ginger, because Ginger
Ginger's
makes
going to
it,
get
yeah.
okay. I
I'm
like
pretty
that theory.
sure I saw him on the front line with Brienne for the episode 3.
I
Yeah.
feel like nothing.
No, I'm
No,
agreeing
done,
with her. I
yeah.
think a couple of kind of no-name
Yeah.
night watch.
So that's your death pool, Kat?
I think so. Yeah.
No name Night Watch and
Yeah,
TPot?
you know what I mean.
I
yeah.
definitely think Beric Dondarrion because it's been coming. They
Yeah.
killed his priest.
Oh, that's a good one.
They
Has-
killed the dude who resurrected him all those times.
Why?
Yeah, that's a
I-
good one.
I've been thinking that too. The only thing that stops me from predicting his death yet is why would the Lord of Light keep bringing him back if he has not served his purpose yet?
Oh yeah.
What's his purpose? I do think he dies. I mean, I don't think he makes it out of the season.
He's also annoying.
Beric? Oh, come on. He has the coolest sword of all time.
I know, right? Oh, maybe
Flaming
not.
sword.
Okay, maybe.
And then no
he
one
won't.
in, like, what about anyone in King's Landing right now? Like, you don't think Euron hasn't killed anyone this season. He's got to slice somebody.
yeah.
Like maybe
I'm just waiting for the
Qyburn.
mountain to melt.
maybe that army
His
she
skin is
hired,
gross.
he's going to be jealous and just kill one of
kill
them
Harry
for fun.
Strickland or, like...
Yeah.
Has
just
he
'cause-
served? Okay, so could it be Euron because Yar's going there?
Nah, he can't die yet.
He's going to die in the 3rd episode though, right? You're
Seriously,
We're
Cersei's
all
gonna
leading
kill
the
him.
3rd episode like
Well, I think
craziness there.
Cersei's gonna kill Euron.
You do?
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
the her monsters.
Nah. Oh yeah, or the mountain.
Yeah.
Any other predictions for this specific episode or anything else you
Does
want to?
anyone, what did we think about Arya's sword that she's making Gendry make?
Oh, I wrote that and I skipped it past. So it looked like a spear that was detachable. Is that
Yeah.
kind of what it looked like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think she's going to, like,
Crafty.
heave something at the Night King from afar?
Yes.
She was pretty good with the bow and arrows, so maybe it's something
So
like that.
is she
Who
going to
knows?
kill the Night King?
Oh,
Is
that'd
it
be,
Arya?
that'd be nice.
I think it's going to be Jaime. He's going to be the ultimate Kingslayer.
That isn't. I don't believe that. I guess they're making out of dragon's glass, so maybe it is for the. But it comes right after that scene where Arya meets with Jon, which makes me think: is she having this in her back pocket, and she thinks Jon is betraying her house?
No, what if
No.
it's detachable because she's trying to make something for the dragon? Because they all know that the dragon's a zombie. So maybe she's trying to make like.
Does
a
she know the
scorpion
dragon's
type
a
thing.
zombie?
Yeah, because Bran
Oh.
knows. So I mean, once Bran knows, everybody knows.
Oh yeah. Freaking Bran.
That's a great theory.
Yeah.
I like
He
that.
can't die though. Bran can't die. He's just gotta sit in his wheelchair.
The thing is, I don't
rest
think
of
Bran's
his life
going to
to
die
die.
because no one would really care if he did. It just wouldn't have that much meaning.
No, I think Bran. I think there was something to Bran and the way that he gave that knife to Arya in
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
episode where
Yeah.
he looked at her funny, and I feel like he's gonna have to do something. Like he's probably gonna have to warg or something like that. and
Into
there's-
her?
yeah.
Same.
Huh?
Into Arya?
No, I think he's gonna have to like warg or something like that. Like, is there a way that maybe with the weirwood tree or whatever he's doing, he's going to do something magical with the Night King, and she's going to have to kill him.
Yes.
Right.
I'm all in for that.
Like-
Teapot, I'm with you.
And because it's so weird how he handed it to her and his look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was.
This is, I agree. That's what I predicted on our previous predictions. I said,
with the creepiness.
Yeah.
he's very
Everything
creepy.
he does is
Missed it.
Warg into the Night King. Arya realized the only way to kill the Night King is to kill his brother, Bran.
Yeah.
It's into the heart
That's
with
it. Okay.
Hey, we can just shut this
Yeah.
down. I think.
Yeah, that's it. We got it. Done. No
podcast.
need to watch the final 5 episodes. We got you covered here. That is A Podcast Has No Name. Be sure you follow us on Twitter at A Podcast Has. We're on Instagram at A Podcast Has, GOT. Be sure you follow us there. I'm at Seth Dunlap on Twitter.
Michael Styles everywhere. Thank you.
Is it a Nema Turtle?
I don't even. I have to just have a kid.
Turtle.
It's Nima Turtle on Instagram.
Oh, we know
And
it.
it's Stina Molinario.
Bayou 95.7.
At Teapot B97.
I'm not on the twatter.
That's going to do it for Styles, Stina, Kat, Teapot. I am, the first of my name, Seth of House Dunlap.
Death and boobies.
Death and boobies, 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 death and boobies.